Hello everybody, MegaGameCraze here, and what I have here is Blender 2.6.1. My bad, it's Blender 2.61. What Blender is an open source animation. So, in Blender, you can animate 3D objects. So let's jump right in here. So, basic movements of the perspective view. Middle mouse, look around. You can look around the little focal point. You see that little crosshair in the center? Yeah, that thing. Yeah, that I'm clicking. Yeah, you can move around that. Woo. So, stop getting distracted. What you start out in the main form is a cube, pre-highlighted, a camera, and a light, a point light, or a lamp. But with this, you can set keyframes. So down here is your timeline. Now, with these little buttons over here, you can see what else you get. Well, let's animate this cube. I'm jumping to the base. I'm jumping in already to animating, which I probably shouldn't, but it's just to show you what you can do in Blender. So, in Blender, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to this little, I don't know what you want to call it, red button of doom? I don't know. And what it's going to do is it's going to start running Python script. Blender is created in Python. And it's going to start understanding that, oh, look, when he moves this timeline, we're going to need ready. We're going to need to be ready. So, right here, we're going to hit I. So, we're going to do location. Because I'm not planning on rotating this. Not yet, though. So, we're going to set up our keyframe. So let's go to 20 frames, and let's move it over here. Let's hit I again to insert another location keyframe. So now, if we play this, and we need to go back to 0, because that's where I started. If we play this, we will see the cube move side to side. Now we can do this multiple times. So now we can have him move over here, even faster. And now we could have him move up and over to the side really quickly. So let's watch that. Whoop, boom, boom, up, over. Exactly. It's that simple. And you can animate anything out of this. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do I add stuff? Well, you add stuff by holding Shift A for Shift Add. Now, you have a big menu of stuff you can add in here. So, meshes. Like, you can add all these little, like, an icosphere. Let's add an icosphere, because I like these. What you can do now is over in the object tools, you can edit a bunch of stuff. Alright, so let's give it smooth shading. Oh, it makes it smooth. Very smooth. But we like it flat, so it looks like the ball. You know, the New Year's Eve ball. Alright, so we'll keep it there. Well, let's add some simple physics to this ball. Let's give it dropping physics, okay? So Shift A, add, cube. I understand you probably don't want a cube, but it's just the way we're going. Let's stretch it out. Not that much. Over there, and let's flatten it. Alright, so now we got a big plane. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go up to Blender Render and Blender Game. This will give us a whole other aspect to Blender. So now, on this, we're not going to have a static, but we're going to have we're going to have it static. Static in physics is basically, this object ain't moving, but it's got properties where you can't hit it. So, collision, box. That's all we're going to need. That's really it for this. But now, for the ball. The ball doesn't understand what to do now. So, for physics type, we're going to need to set it to rigid body. Because we want this to collapse. We want it to be rigid, and we want it to have a body to fall, like a rag doll. But we also need collision, so it understands when to stop. But let's give it like a spherical collision. So it's not like a box where it just drops on a side where it can roll, actually. So now that we've done that, we can actually move it around and I need to move it up more. Look, it's straight up. Now, if we hit P, it'll... didn't want to play. There we go. It played the game. Alright. Sorry, I got a little dry throat there. So if we hit F12, it's going to render nothing, of course. Unless we move the camera. Could always be helpful. F12. Yeah, no. Still no. Up more. It's over to the side. Up more. F12. There's the ball. Hit P. And it drops. Now, you could also give it what's known as a soft body. Now, what this thing's going to do is it's going to act like Jello as much as possible. So, if we play it, it's going to act like Jello, as you just saw. The thing is, I think I screwed up. But, we just get rid of them, because that's not what I want to show you. But the basics of Blender are very, very simple. You simply move objects around, and it locates where it's at. It's very simple, as you might think. So, that's the basics of Blender. In my next tutorial, I will be showing you guys how to make cloth. How to make a cube act like cloth and like fold down a cube. Like it's hard to explain. So I'll show you that. Some basics of smooth and shading. Just shading and flat, smooth and flat shading. And simples of Blender. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Ask me for any more tutorials on other programs. I will teach you how to use them. And yeah, so comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you next.